The galaxy hadn't spoken the word human in 3 centuries. It was a curse, a warning, a bedtime story for alien children. Then, one calm morning, every sensor in the Orion arm lit up, and a voice crackled across the stars. "This is Admiral Reyes, United Terran Fleet. To those who thought us extinct, surprise." The word human had long since turned into a campfire joke. Children of the Zell Confederacy dared each other to whisper it in dark corridors, as though the mere syllables might summon monsters from the void. Scholars dismissed them as myths, a violent, unpredictable species that had burned bright and then vanished 3 centuries ago. On the floor of the Galactic Council, the topic surfaced only as historical trivia. "They ate plants and animals both," droned Archivist Valor, mandibles clicking with disdain. "Even one another on occasion. Entire species of apex predators, yet fragile. They extinguished themselves like sparks in rain." Polite laughter circled the chamber. A gelatinous thrall delegate burbled, "Primitive. They fought wars over colored fabric they called flags." Another waved a hologram of a human artifact, an old football. "Imagine, they chased inflated leather across a field while millions watched. Is this civilization?" The council rippled with mirth. Humanity was gone. The galaxy was safe. That was the exact moment every long-range sensor in the Orion arm screamed awake. An ancient signal pulsed across every relay, clean and unmistakable. A voice, steady, crisp, and human. "This is Admiral Elias Reyes, United Terran Fleet. To those who believed us extinct, surprise." Silence crushed the council chamber. The word Terran hadn't been spoken in official records for centuries. The delegates stared at one another in disbelief, some frozen, others laughing nervously as if refusing to be fooled by a ghost. Then the hollow projector in the center of the chamber flared alive. A figure appeared, tall, broad-shouldered, clad in a uniform black as midnight, with a faint silver insignia on his chest. His expression was calm, almost courteous. Admiral Reyes smiled faintly. "Forgive the interruption. I realize I wasn't on the agenda, but I thought it might be rude to arrive unannounced." The chamber erupted. Dozens of alien voices clashed in panic. "Impossible," hissed Valor. "A fabrication," shouted the thrall. "Extinct means gone," shrieked another. Reyes waited, hands clasped behind his back. When the noise peaked, he leaned forward just slightly, his tone polite but firm. "Let's skip the formalities. I assure you, our extinction has been greatly exaggerated." The image shifted. Behind Reyes, stars stretched into view, then shapes emerged. Dozens of warships slid from blackness, their hulls bearing Earth's faded crest. Sleek, angular, and vast, they looked less like machines and more like predators gliding through deep waters. Engines burned sapphire blue, illuminating their armored skins. Gasps broke across the chamber. Even the most arrogant delegates faltered. Valor forced composure. "A trick. Museum relics animated by drones. They cannot function." Reyes' lips curved. "You'll forgive us, Archivist, if we didn't leave our survival up to your historians." His words carried a quiet humor, but beneath it was something sharp, like a blade hidden in velvet. The Zell delegate attempted diplomacy. "If humanity survived, where have you been hiding?" "Busy," Reyes replied simply. "We had some repairs to make, some debts to settle." His gaze sharpened. "And some memories to honor." A tremor ran through the chamber. The politeness in his voice carried weight heavier than any shouted threat. Valor clacked furiously. "You dare intimidate the council?" Reyes chuckled. "Intimidate? Not at all. Consider this a courtesy call. We only brought most of our fleet. Didn't want to overcrowd your skies." The joke landed like a stone in water. Several delegates whispered frantically. "Most." One of the reptilian Core 80H generals bared his teeth. "If this is meant as warning, Terran, you misjudge us. We command fleets that blot out suns." Reyes raised an eyebrow. How impressive. Then you'll appreciate the efficiency of ours. Less blotting, more precision. He tilted his head. Would you like a demonstration? The general fell silent. Reyes straightened his uniform. His tone returned to casual civility. We're not here for conquest. We're here to talk. The kind of talk that requires leverage. As if on cue, the hologram widened. More ships appeared. Hundreds, maybe thousands, phasing into visibility above a nearby star system. Their formation was disciplined, silent, ominous. Panic cracked through the chamber. They were extinct. Every archive confirmed it. How can so many ships survive undetected? Reyes' smile thinned. Extinct? No. Patient? Yes. Sometimes, the most dangerous predator is the one you stop watching. The chamber quieted. For the first time in centuries, the word human wasn't a joke. It was a weight. Valor tried to regain footing. If your fleet is real, then state your purpose. What do you want? Reyes leaned closer to the holoprojector, eyes hardening though his voice stayed warm. A conversation. About history. About debts unpaid. About how certain powers prospered while Earth burned. Several delegates froze. The unspoken accusation hung heavy. They hadn't just ignored humanity's fall, they had profited from it. Reyes allowed the silence to stretch, then gave a small, almost cheerful nod. Don't worry. We'll be polite guests. For now. The feed flickered, showing one final image before cutting. An entire fleet decloaking over a trade hub world. Alien defense ships scrambled in disarray. Reyes' voice lingered as the projection faded. Now, shall we discuss overdue matters of history? The council chamber erupted into chaos. Delegates screamed at aides, summoning fleets, demanding answers from intelligence divisions. Some swore vengeance, others begged for negotiation. But deep in the silence that followed, one truth settled across every frightened mind. Humanity had not died. Humanity had waited. And now, the galaxy would have to remember them. The Council's emergency session bled into chaos. Orders crackled across channels, fleets scrambled, and every admiral within range barked for ships to be armed. The word human carried like infection, spreading panic through relay stations and colonies. By the time the dust settled, one truth remained unavoidable. Admiral Reyes had parked an armada over one of the Confederacy's busiest trade hubs. The Thrall ambassador gurgled, if they mean peace, why show force? Valor snapped, because they are predators in diplomats' clothing. Predators don't smile, hissed a Core 80H general. A new transmission cut across their bickering. Reyes appeared again, calm as ever, a mug in hand. He took a deliberate sip before speaking. Council members, apologies for the interruption. I hope the coffee doesn't offend. It's a dreadful human habit. Keeps us awake when history calls. His voice warmed with amusement. And history seems wide awake today. Behind him, the view shifted. Alien defense fleets formed shaky lines near the trade hub. Thousands of sleek frigates and cruisers locked weapons on the Terran warships. Reyes glanced over his shoulder. Looks like your people are nervous. Don't worry, we'd hate to ruin their day. That's why we'll keep this instructional. The alien commander overseeing the defense cut in, voice dripping with fury. Terran, withdraw or face annihilation. You trespass in sovereign space. Reyes smiled like a teacher humoring an unruly student. I'll accept your terms. If you annihilate us in the next 5 minutes, I'll withdraw. The commander snarled. Do not mock. 4 minutes, 50 seconds, Reyes interrupted gently, checking an old wristwatch. Do hurry. The alien fleet opened fire. Lances of plasma streaked across the void, enough to burn through asteroids, enough to overwhelm entire systems. The Terran ships didn't move. Then, just before impact, space itself bent. Human shields flared, rippling with controlled distortion. Every bolt scattered, redirected harmlessly into empty dark. Not one ship flinched. Council delegates watching through the live feed gasped. Reyes lifted his mug again. Lovely fireworks. We almost felt that one. He tapped his wristwatch. 3 minutes left. The alien commander shouted for a second volley. Missiles this time, hundreds arcing like fireflies. The Terran flagship shifted slightly, a ripple of blue light spreading across its hull. The missiles simply vanished, swallowed into silent void. Reyes arched an eyebrow. Your engineers still haven't solved quantum bleed? Don't be embarrassed. It took us decades. The council chamber erupted with panicked whispers. If that was true, the Terrans had technology centuries ahead of current fleets. Reyes leaned closer to the projector. One last demonstration. We'd hate to leave without making the lesson clear. He snapped his fingers. On command, every human warship fired a single shot, not at the alien ships, but near them. Blue streaks of light danced across the void, brushing past frigates with surgical precision. In the next second, entire squadrons went dark. Engines offline, weapons disabled, communications scrambled. Ships floated helplessly, powerless but intact. Gasps filled the council. Valor's mandibles clattered nervously. They didn't destroy them. Reyes nodded. Of course not. We're not here to kill your people. Only to remind you what happens when history is ignored. His smile turned razor-sharp. We prefer our lessons painless. The first time. The alien commander's voice quavered. How did you disable thousands of ships in a single volley? Reyes shrugged casually. Trade secret. You wouldn't want us to spoil all the surprises, would you? Laughter, not cruel, but unsettling in its ease, spilled into the council chamber. Delegates looked on, half enraged, half terrified. The reptilian general hissed, this was no demonstration. It was humiliation. Reyes tilted his head. Funny, where I come from, demonstrations are meant to teach. Consider yourselves educated. One of the elder delegates, a long-lived avian with snowy plumage, studied him carefully. You survived extinction not by hiding, but by preparing. Every day of silence was a blade sharpened in the dark. Reyes inclined his head respectfully. At least someone understands. The elder's feathers ruffled uneasily. The CoradiH general slammed a clawed fist into the table. You won't frighten us with parlor tricks. The council will rally every fleet in the galaxy. Humanity cannot face us all. Reyes' smile didn't falter, but his tone cooled. General, you mistake us. We never intended to fight all of you. We only needed you to fight yourselves. Confused murmurs swept the chamber. Reyes continued softly, almost kindly. You see, while your fleet scrambled here, our friends elsewhere were busy. Supply chains? Interrupted. Communications? Compromised. Border skirmishes? Flared just as planned. The council froze. Reports were already filtering in. Colonies cut off, fleets stranded without fuel, riots breaking out as misinformation flooded channels. Reyes lifted his mug again. We humans have a saying, war is won before the first shot. We just prefer coffee while we wait. For a moment, the chamber was silent but for the crackle of distant reports. Panic bloomed across alien faces as they realized the trap had already been sprung. Valor whispered, horrified, "They've been here all along." Reyes set his mug down with a soft clink. 3 centuries is a long time to practice patience. We learned to listen while you laughed, to watch while you forgot, and when the time came, to remind you that ghosts don't fade, they wait. The words hung heavy, polite in delivery but lethal in meaning. The avian elder finally spoke again, voice hushed. What do you want, Terran? Reyes leaned forward, eyes cold though his voice stayed pleasant. We want acknowledgement. We want accountability. And above all, he paused, letting the silence breathe, we want the galaxy to remember the name it buried. His image flickered out. Across the trade hub, Terran warships rotated in perfect formation, engines burning blue, waiting in silence above the paralyzed alien fleet. The galaxy had seen the demonstration. The ghosts of Earth were real. And they were smiling. The council chamber smelled of panic. Even through filtered air, the tang of fear clung like smoke. Reports streamed across the hollow panels. Disrupted trade lines, stranded fleets, riots ignited by phantom broadcasts. Every message painted the same picture. Chaos spreading faster than they could respond. Valor slammed his mandibles. This is sabotage on a galactic scale. They've undermined our systems for years. The Thrall delegate bubbled nervously. How can a species erased from history achieve such reach? Because, rasped the avian elder, wings shivering, they were never erased. They were listening while we mocked their ashes. The chamber fell quiet. Even the loudest voices found no footing. A new signal cut in. Admiral Reyes appeared again, as if summoned by their dread. His tone was warm, conversational. "Good evening, Council. I trust the demonstration clarified matters? I hope no captains took the power outage personally." No one laughed. Reyes let the silence breathe before continuing. "Now we may finally discuss overdue business." The Cor-ADH general growled, "Name your demands." "Demands?" Reyes chuckled softly. "That word feels hostile. We prefer expectations." The delegates shifted uneasily. Reyes clasped his hands behind his back. Expectation 1. Acknowledgement. Humanity was not destroyed by misfortune. Earth burned while certain powers, his eyes swept across the chamber, profited. Ships scavenged, colonies stripped, survivors hunted. You called it inevitable. We call it betrayal. Valor snapped, history is full of accidents. Reyes' smile didn't falter, but his eyes hardened. Archivist, please. You've rewritten history so many times you've forgotten the original script. But we remember. The Thrall delegate burbled anxiously. If vengeance is your goal, then name your target. Do not threaten us all. Ah. Reyes' tone cooled, though still wrapped in civility. Here's the misunderstanding. Humanity doesn't seek revenge. Revenge is noisy, costly, messy. We prefer balance. The word landed heavier than any weapon. Counselors exchanged glances. None dared interrupt. Reyes went on. Balance means consequences. It means empires that rose on Earth's corpse will feel the weight they ignored. It means no more laughing at bedtime stories of predators long gone. Because the predators are here. The chamber shivered. The mask of politeness remained, but something sharp now pressed beneath. The avian elder dared to ask, "How did you survive, Admiral? How did a world so broken create fleets unseen for centuries?" Reyes tilted his head. "The same way your kind survived ice ages, or the Thrall endured collapse. Adaptation. We hid where you did not look. We built where you believed rubble lay. We grew teeth in the shadows of your complacency." His gaze narrowed slightly. "And we learned patience. A human virtue you all underestimated." The Cor-ADH general spat. "Enough riddles. Do you mean to conquer us or not?" Reyes leaned closer to the projector, his smile razor-thin. "General, if conquest were our aim, you would already be kneeling. You mistake restraint for weakness." The general recoiled, scales bristling. Valor tried to regain ground. "The galaxy will unite against you. No predator can stand against every herd." Reyes' laughter was quiet, almost amused. "You still think in herds and predators. But humans, we became something else. Apex predators who mastered cooperation. Imagine wolves that learned politics. Lions that wrote treaties. That's what frightened you centuries ago, isn't it?" The chamber froze. Reyes' voice softened, polite once more. "Our fleets are not here to burn worlds. Not yet. We're here to offer a choice. Cooperation or isolation. Those who align with us will thrive. Those who resist will vanish from relevance. We don't need to conquer. The galaxy will fracture itself for us. Gasps rippled through the chamber. The delegates realized the truth. Humanity's war wasn't waged with fire, but with strategy. The Thrall delegates' form trembled. And if we refuse? Rhea's smile never reached his eyes. Then you'll discover what extinction truly feels like. Not a fireball. A silence. A disappearance so complete that your grandchildren will forget your name. For a long moment, no one spoke. Finally, the avian elder bowed his head. You intend to force us into alliances by fear. Reyes inclined his head politely. No, elder. By memory. Fear fades. Memory lasts. He stepped back, voice steady, almost cordial. You have one rotation of your star to decide. We will not ask twice. The transmission cut. The chamber erupted again. Shouts, threats, pleas. But beneath the chaos, one truth settled like stone. Humanity had not returned as victims or refugees. They had returned as architects, pulling strings already tangled through the galaxy. The avian elder whispered to no one in particular, "The mask they wear is courtesy. The truth beneath is steel." And every delegate present understood, the mask was slipping, and the galaxy had little time left to decide what humanity looked like without it. Silence blanketed the galactic chamber after Admiral Kor's declaration. The alien council, brimming with dignitaries from 100 species, leaned forward, antennae twitching, gills flaring, eyes narrowing. Humans were supposed to be ashes in the cosmic wind. And yet here was Elias Mercer, standing calm in his pressed uniform, sipping tea like this was a morning brunch. Impossible, hissed a slender insectoid chancellor, her mandibles clacking. Your kind were erased. Verified. Mercer smiled pleasantly. Erased is such a dramatic word. We prefer on sabbatical. A ripple of unease spread. Humor did not translate well in half the languages present, but everyone understood confidence. The human wasn't asking permission, he was announcing a return. Admiral Kor slammed a clawed fist onto the table. You bring relic warships, nothing more. This council controls the fleets now. Humans cannot threaten us. Mercer tilted his head as though studying an unruly child. Threaten? No, Admiral. That's your word. We don't threaten. We rearrange. He set down his tea. And we've already started. The room stiffened. The demonstration. The chamber's massive hollow sphere flickered alive. A live feed filled the air. Grainy at first, then sharp. Dozens of alien fleets surrounded a remote mining system, drilling stations glowing against the void. Kor leaned back, smug. Our resource hub. Secured. Mercer's fingers danced across a datapad. A beat later, the hollow shifted. Tiny dots appeared behind the alien fleets, warships uncloaking, long silhouettes glimmering with faint blue light. Human designs. The council erupted. Tentacles flailed, wings snapped open, scales bristled. Kor's jaw tightened. Impossible. That's a fabrication. Mercer didn't raise his voice. He simply whispered, "Observe." The hollow showed it. Human warships moving with eerie precision. They didn't fire salvos immediately. They weaved between fleets, cutting engines with surgical strikes, blinding sensors, severing comms. Alien dreadnoughts twisted in confusion, firing wildly, hitting each other more often than their target. Then, like conductors striking a final note, the humans launched a synchronized barrage. Entire armadas crumpled in less than a minute. The chamber went deathly quiet. Mercer broke it with a chuckle. That wasn't even our main fleet. That was, call it a dress rehearsal. The mask drops. For centuries, the galaxy had mocked the old human reputation. Unruly, emotional, doomed. But now their efficiency was undeniable. Fear crept into even the bravest alien eyes. Kor tried to recover. Even if true, you cannot win a war against all. The Council commands trillions. Humans are few. Mercer leaned forward, voice lower, colder. Few? Admiral, we've been busy. While you thought us dust, we built. While you squabbled over borders, we refined. Numbers aren't our weapon. Strategy is. He smiled politely, but his eyes gleamed with steel. And you've already lost. The counselors exchanged glances. The implication was chilling. Cracks in the council. The reptilian delegate, scales dark as obsidian, finally spoke. If what you say is true, then our fleets, our defenses. He trailed off, visibly shaken. A feathered envoy scoffed nervously. This could be a bluff. An elaborate performance. Mercer shrugged. Believe what comforts you. Just know every hour you debate, another fleet learns how fragile it truly is. Whispers erupted. Some argued surrender, others demanded retaliation. The chamber splintered into chaos. Mercer let it simmer, then spoke with surgical precision. Humanity doesn't seek annihilation. We offer partnership. But not the kind you're used to. We won't kneel. We won't beg for seats in your chamber. You'll adapt to us, or you'll fade. His words landed like quiet thunder. Behind the curtain. While the aliens debated, Mercer received a discreet transmission through his earpiece. Fleet Sigma reports clean victory, sir. No survivors to spread panic until we choose. Good, Mercer whispered back. He straightened, addressing the council again. Understand this. What you saw was not chance. Every move you made over the last century, the territories you fought over, the tech you abandoned, even the myths you dismissed, we influenced it. Quietly. Patiently. The insectoid chancellor twitched violently. That's impossible. You couldn't have. Oh, but we did, Mercer interrupted softly. We rewrote the board while you thought we were gone. And now, we flip it. He snapped his fingers. The hollow changed again. This time it showed alien capital worlds, each lit with thousands of red dots. The dots pulsed in sequence. At first they seemed like glitches. Then the realization spread like wildfire. Not ships. Not attacks. Infiltration beacons. Already inside their borders. Gasps filled the chamber. Mercer smiled without joy. You've been living with us for decades. We walked among you, built inside your infrastructure, left gifts in your code. All waiting for today. The final offer. Core rose, trembling with rage and denial. You expect us to kneel to ghosts? Mercer finally stood, his calm posture sharper than any blade. No, Admiral. I expect you to survive. Kneeling is optional. He let the words hang before adding, but defiance? That comes with extinction. The chamber froze. Aliens who once dismissed humans now studied him with primal dread. The politeness in his voice no longer masked anything. It sharpened it. A small amphibian delegate croaked nervously, What do you want, human? Mercer met every gaze. Balance. For too long you've preyed on the weak, carving the galaxy like carrion. That era is over. Humanity will enforce equilibrium. If that frightens you, perhaps it should. Aftermath. The council recessed in chaos. Some species fled the chamber outright. Others whispered desperate alliances. Core stormed out, vowing vengeance. Mercer remained behind, hands clasped behind his back, watching the turmoil with the patience of a hunter. His aide approached quietly. Was it wise to reveal so much? Mercer's lips curved. Fear does more work than 1,000 fleets. We showed them just enough. He gazed out the viewport, where the void stretched endless and dark. Now they'll scramble, turn on each other, doubt their allies. While they do, we'll move pieces they don't even see. His voice dropped to a near whisper. The trap isn't sprung, my friend. This was only the bait.